back to my channel, and I hope you are having an amazing day. I'm back with new stories. Now, before we get into it, if you've not subscribed to this channel, subscribe and like this video, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that when I post, you'll be notified immediately. Today's shout out goes to Etisai for being the first person to comment on my last video. I hope I pronounced your name right. Thank you so much for the support, babe. I love you. And I'll get comfortable. Sit back, relax, and let's get right into it. Story number 1. I have a close-knit group of friends from college. We've been hanging out for years, and we love going out to dinner every few weeks. So last weekend, we decided to go to this trendy new restaurant that everyone was talking about. I was excited because I had heard their food is amazing, and I was eager to try them. Everyone in our friend group agreed to meet up, and we made a reservation for 6 of us. When we arrived, we ordered a range of appetizers, some food, and of course a few drinks. As the night went on, I noticed that while I was enjoying my food, some of my friends were ordering dishes that were significantly more expensive than the food I chose. I stuck with my usual choices, spending about 200 cedis, while some of them were ordering fancy cocktails and multiple appetizers. As the dinner progressed, our group was laughing and having a great time. But when the bill arrived, it felt like a bomb dropped. The total was around 3,000 cedis, and my friends immediately suggested we split it evenly. That means each person will pay around 500 cedis, even though I had only spent 200 cedis. I was sitting there feeling uncomfortable. I didn't want to ruin the mood, but it didn't feel fair to pay the same as those who had ordered much more expensive meals. When I spoke up and said, "Hey, I think we should pay for what we ordered," my friends looked at me as if I had committed a crime. They started arguing that we always split the bill evenly, and that it is just what you do when you go out as a group. Some friends chimed in, insisting that it keeps things simple and avoids awkwardness. What awkwardness? I tried to explain my perspective, saying that I was fine with splitting the bill when everyone ordered similarly. Yeah, but this time felt different. I didn't think it was right for me to subsidize their choices when I had tried to keep things reasonable. As the discussion heated up, one of my friends, Jay, who had ordered a bunch of cocktails and several appetizers, snapped at me. "Wow, it is just 500 cedis. Stop being so cheap." I was taken aback. I thought I was being fair and trying to stick to principles, but now I felt attacked. I defended myself by saying it wasn't about the money. It was about fairness and transparency in our friendships. The group was clearly divided at this point. Some friends backed me up, agreeing that it was reasonable to pay for what you ordered, while others thought I was the one being difficult. The whole dinner, which had started as a fun night out, turned into an awkward debate about friendship, money, and fairness. At that moment, I made a decision. I took out my wallet and handed Jay the 200 cedis I had spent. I said, "This is my money. I won't be joining you guys for dinner next time." That's right. I didn't want to create long-lasting tension, but I felt frustrated that my friends didn't value what I was saying. Once we left the restaurant, the vibe was incredibly tense. Some friends tried to talk about lighter subjects, but they felt forced. The next day, Jay sent a particularly harsh text telling me that my behavior was embarrassing and that I'd ruined a fun night for everyone. Now I'm left questioning my judgment. Should I have just gone along with the group, or was it okay to stand my ground? Am I the asshole for not wanting to split the bill evenly at a group dinner? Babe, I don't think you are wrong for not splitting. You went there and you ate food worth only 200 cedis. Why should you pay more? Obviously, the fact that they were ordering more and eating more means they had money for it. I don't understand why they are making you feel bad for standing your ground. Why do you have to pay more than you ate? Now, if you were all ordering similar meals, splitting the bill would have made sense. But when some people are ordering much more expensive items, it is unfair for you to pay the same amount as those who chose pricier options. Babe, you are not the asshole in this situation. You stood for what you believed was right. I think that next time when you're going out with a group of friends, discuss how to handle the bill before you go out. That way, everyone knows what to expect. And it can help avoid conflicts. Take care of yourself, babe, and I'm wishing you all the best. And now, if you have any advice for this sender, write story number 1 and leave your advice and opinions. She's going to be in the comment sections reading them. Let's move on to story number 2. Hi, V. I'm in a complicated situation with my ex-girlfriend. We were together for almost 3 years, and we even shared the same group of friends. However, things started getting rocky when I got a new job and had to work longer hours. I was stressed all the time, and unfortunately, I wasn't as attentive to her as I should have been. She often complained about feeling neglected, but I promised her I was just going through a rough patch, and that I loved her. One fateful evening, I went to a friend's party. It was supposed to be a fun escape from work stress. After a few drinks, I ended up kissing a mutual friend named Lisa. I definitely shouldn't have done that. It was a stupid mistake, fueled by alcohol. When I woke up the next day, I felt horrified. I would have told her what had happened, but Lisa beat me to it. She was devastated. I could see the pain in her eyes when I explained what happened. I apologized again and again, but she said she couldn't trust me anymore. After a tearful conversation, she decided to end the relationship. I was crushed, but I understood her perspective. I had betrayed her trust, and I knew I had to accept the consequences. Now, here is where things get tricky. Before all of this went down, she has lent me 5,000 cedis. At the time, I had promised I would pay her back once I got my next paycheck, a plan we both agreed on. After the breakup, however, she texted me saying that I needed to pay her back immediately. I was surprised. I felt like I had already lost so much and that asking for the money back was just another blow. I replied, "Can we discuss this? I'm really struggling emotionally." She wasn't having it. She insisted I pay her back because money and feelings should be separate. I was upset but knew she had a point. Still, I felt like after everything I'd been through, the least she could do was give me a grace period. Days passed and I was trying to figure out my next steps. I went out with my friends to clear my mind. And that is when a twist of fate happened. At the same bar where I had kissed Lisa, I ran into her. I was shocked to see her joking and laughing with a new guy. It was the first time I realized she had moved on faster than I anticipated. I approached her, hoping to have a reasonable conversation. "Hey, can we talk?" I asked awkwardly. She turned to me and smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Not now. I have someone else in my life." In that moment, all my feelings of regret ignited into anger. I blurted out, "So you are with someone else already, and you still want me to pay you back?" She shot back, "Yes, because you still owe me. Just because we broke up doesn't mean I can just let it go." Suddenly, clarity hit me. I realized I wasn't just sad about losing her. I was frustrated that she seemed to be moving on quickly while I was still in pain. In a heated moment, I texted her back, "Fine, I won't pay you back because I think what you did to me is unfair." What is unfair? You cheated on her and she broke up with you. And you are owing her and she wants her money back. So what is unfair, babe? Let's continue. That night, I replayed the argument in my head and felt a mix of anger and sadness. I knew I had crossed the line, but I felt justified in refusing to pay her back because she was already moving on. Babe, you are not making sense. After that, things escalated quickly. Sarah told our mutual friends about what I said, and many of them took her side. They believed I was being hypocritical and selfish. I, on the other hand, felt like I was being punished twice. Once for my mistake, and now for not wanting to pay for it after being heartbroken. I started to feel isolated. My friends began to choose sides, and I could hear whispers about how I was being petty. Some of them even suggested I just pay her back to end the drama. But why should I? Because the money is not yours. I kept thinking, now I'm stuck in a bad place. I've lost a girlfriend and I'm feeling the pressure from friends while also dealing with my guilt. So am I wrong for refusing to pay Sarah back after everything that happened? Should I just suck it up or do I have a right to stand my ground? Babe, what is going on? You are so wrong in this situation. You cheated on her and she broke up with you. like she should. And you are owing her 5,000 cedis. And you are saying just because she moved on so fast, you're not going to pay her back her money. What do you mean? Did she give you the money for free? No, it was a loan and she wants her money back. Why are you expecting her to overlook this obligation you have to her? So what you're saying is that just because you are going through emotional pain, you not pay her back her money. Take responsibilities for your actions and pay her back. It is time to step up and face the consequences of your actions. You are so wrong in this situation. Go and pay her back. And now, if you have any advice for this sender, write story number 2 and leave your advice and opinions. It's going to be in the comment sections reading them. Let's move on to story number 3. I met my boyfriend in college and quickly fell in love. We were inseparable and had dreams of building a future together. After graduation, reality hit us hard. The pressures of finding jobs took a toll on our relationship. Unfortunately, B and I began to drift apart. After a year of struggling to make things work, he decided to end it, claiming he wanted to focus on his career and personal growth. I was heartbroken. I thought we could eventually work things out, but I respected his decision. Mostly, after the breakup, things got worse for me. I wasn't just sad, I got lost and anxious. Our friends tried to be supportive, but they would often mention B moving on with his life. I saw him a few times at parties, smiling and laughing with new people, while I was falling deeper into dismay. One night, I was at a party with friends, and I saw B with another girl named Sam. They looked comfortable together, and I panicked. In that moment of fear and desperation, I made a huge mistake. I texted B out of the blue and told him I'm pregnant. What? I know, it sounds crazy and dramatic, but I thought it might be enough to bring him back into my life. At first, he didn't believe me. He asked if I was joking, but I kept insisting it was true. I even crafted a story about how I had taken a test and was waiting for the doctor's confirmation. It was a desperate attempt to keep the connection we once had. I felt guilty, but I was also scared of losing him forever. To my surprise, B started to respond with concern. He asked about my health and how I was coping. At first, it felt good to have his attention back, but as days passed, I realized I had dug myself into a deeper hole. I had started to feel overwhelming guilt about lying. I told myself it was just a temporary lie to get him back. As the lies piled up, I began sharing more details about the pregnancy. I even spoke about how I was researching parenting and planning for the future. I thought B might want to help me out. And for a moment, the act of pretending felt like a way to reconnect, but keeping up with the lie became exhausting. Then came the unexpected twist. B offered to be there for me. He wanted to attend doctor's appointments and even thought about how we could figure things out as a couple. Part of me was happy, but the other part felt trapped in my deceit. One day, as we were sitting in his living room, he said, "I want us to be a family, but I need to know you are really okay. We should make sure everything is going smoothly." That was my breaking point. I realized I couldn't keep lying. It had gone too far, and I was terrified of the repercussions. In a moment of courage, I broke down and told him the truth. "B, I'm so sorry, but I lied. I'm not pregnant. I just didn't want to lose you." His face went pale, and I could see the shock and hurt in his eyes. "You lied to me about being pregnant. How could you? That is a huge deal," he shouted. I tried to explain how lost and scared I felt after our breakup, how I thought lying might bring us back together. But to him, it felt like a betrayal that crossed the line. We argued, and he ultimately decided he needed space from me. He said he couldn't trust me anymore, and I knew I had ruined everything. How could I have been so desperate to keep B that I lied about something so serious? B eventually told some friends about what happened. I received texts from friends saying things like, "What were you thinking? And you can't just lie about something so big." And I feel lost. B is not picking my calls and won't talk to me. My friends are also shunning me. What should I do next? I feel stuck. Babe, lying about pregnancy is a huge deal. Why would you do that? You might have thought the lie would bring B back into your life, but you see, it only pushed him away further. Even if you were feeling desperate and scared, there are better ways to handle those feelings than lying. You could have focused on building yourself up and finding ways to cope with the breakup. Now, babe, what has happened already. I think that right now, you need to focus on yourself. Try to heal. And babe, it is very important to learn from this mistake. But for now, take care of yourself and work on your mental health. I'm wishing you all the best. And now, if you have any advice for this sender, write story number 3 and leave your advice and opinions. She's going to be in the comment sections reading them. Let's move on to story number 4. I'm a 26-year-old guy living in a small town where everyone knows each other. A few years ago, I really hit it off with a guy named Tom during our uni years. Tom is like a brother to me, but there's always been a catch. Throughout our friendship, he has had a tough time managing his finances. Tom seems to have a few financial crises every few months, and while I've always been there for him, I've learned a hard lesson about lending him money. In the first year after college, Tom borrowed 100,000 naira to cover his rent. He assured me he'd pay me back in a week. A month passed, and when I asked him about it, he said he had a lot of unexpected expenses, but he'd get it to me soon. I felt bad pushing him too hard, so I let it slide. A few months later, he needed 50,000 naira for car repairs. Same story. It is just a little setback. I promise I will pay you back, and once again, I felt guilty for asking, so I didn't. Fast forward 2 years, and I estimate I've lent him about 800,000 naira in total. Each time, he promised to pay me back, but each time I ended up feeling taken advantage of. We are still friends, but I've made mental notes about these patterns. Recently, I realized I hadn't seen a dime retained, though I felt uncomfortable just bringing it up. Last month, Tom hit me up again. He said he needed 300,000 to cover some medical bills. In my guts, I knew I should say no, but I felt guilty. I can't say no to my friend, right? But something inside me snapped when he said, "You won't let me down now, will you?" It felt like a punch to the gut. I had always supported him. Was I really that person to him? So I took a deep breath and replied, "Look, man, I can't just give you any more money. You never paid me back the last time, and I can't keep doing this." Tom was shocked. Why was he shocked? He tried to appeal to our friendship, claiming it would change. I understand where you are coming from, but this is an emergency. I stood firm. I can help you think of alternatives, but I can't lend you money. That's all. The next day, I received a text from Tom saying I was selfish and not a real friend. He accused me of judging him and said I didn't understand how tough life is for him. That hit hard. I had always thought we supported each other, and now I felt like I'd become the villain in this story. Days went by without a word. Finally, I got a message from a friend saying Tom was telling everyone I'd abandoned him during a tough time. I just decided to cut him off. I blocked him and I've refused to talk to him. But now I'm wondering if I could have handled this better. Please let me know what you think. Honestly, I think you did the right thing by refusing to lend Tom more money. It is clear he has this pattern of borrowing money and not paying back. 800,000 naira is a lot of money, and it is not fair to you. Babe, it is important to set boundaries in friendships, especially when money is involved. If you feel blocking him and cutting him out of your life is the best thing for you, then babe, continue. At the end of the day, your peace of mind is what really matters. Despite everything you've done for him, he's not even grateful. Babe, keep looking out for yourself, and I'm wishing you all the best. And now, if you have any advice for this sender, write story number 4 and leave your advice and opinions. He's going to be in the comment section reading them. And now, Abi, you know that this is a judgment-free zone. Well, listen, we don't judge. So please be kind to them in the comment sections, because obviously these issues are worrying them. And that is why they've sent me these stories in the first place. So please be kind. If you've not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for, babe? Subscribe and like this video. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that when I post, you'll be notified immediately. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, I'm done. Bye.